I'm Todd Sampson, a Canadian-born Australian from Sydney. I run a leading communications firm, and I'm on a quest for a better brain. In this series, I embark on a 3-month training program to prove that modern science can turn any brain into a super brain.
That's the way.
I'll be tested, probed, and pushed to my limits.
Well, and then you add these locks.
And ultimately, I'll attempt an extreme challenge. In this episode, I'll train to expand my mind power and compete in the brainiest competition on the planet.
Neurons on the ready, go.
But this journey is not just about me. We can all improve on the brain we were born with.
Don't.
So strap yourself in and take the challenge with me.
Oh, wow. I'm here in Germany to witness an incredible mental feat that has never been attempted before. Mark Lang will try and set a new world record by playing 12 opponents in chess simultaneously at speed without actually being able to see their chessboards. This should be great.
It's called blind rapid chess. Mark Lang never gets to see the chess pieces. For each opponent, he's only told their latest move. Everything else, he has to remember. On 12 chessboards at once, with just 15 minutes per game to win or draw. This is extraordinary to watch, considering the average person can only hold about 7 things in their working memory at one time. Mark is holding hundreds of moves in his mind. It seems impossible. I'd love to know what's going on in Mark's head.
There is kind of a new room opening up in my mind. And inside of this room, there are all the boards. There is all dark, and I can say, okay, show me board 11. And board 11 is coming out of the dark, and I can see it.
Now, with 9 wins and 2 draws in the bag, Mark has just 1 game left to win from his allotted 3 hours to set a new world record.
So now, you're about to be finished.
Yeah.
Kommt auch, schon gesendet.
That was amazing, Mark. So how do you do it?
Well, I don't know, actually. The games all stick to my mind without me doing anything in particular, so try it.
And you consider yourself just an ordinary guy?
Yes, of course. Ask my wife.
What does your wife think of this?
She always says you can only play blindfold chess because your brain is running on low energy the rest of the time.
Yeah. What a remarkable achievement. Mark is proof that ordinary people can do extraordinary things with their minds. But now it's my turn to put that to the test. Over the next 3 months, using the latest in brain training techniques, I will attempt to radically transform my brain and prove that anyone can make their brain better. For the first time ever on television, this series will put brain plasticity to the test, using my brain as the experiment. My coach and mentor for this episode is world-renowned American neuroscientist, Dr. Michael Merznick. Hi, Michael.
Hey, you must be Todd.
Yes, welcome.
It's
Welcome.
really nice
Thanks
to meet
for
you.
coming all this way.
Finally see you. Right.
A pioneer of the brain plasticity revolution, Michael believes that in just 1 month, he can turbocharge my thinking speed, attention, and memory.
So, Michael, you've flown halfway around the world to try and improve my brain.
Yes, that's exactly what we're up to, and we're going to do it.
So I know I'm in good hands. What do I need to do next? I'm eager to get going, so what do I actually need to do?
Well, the first thing we have to do, Todd, is to figure out what your present capabilities are. You know, what can Todd do? And then we're going to look inside your skull, and we're going to examine your brain. We're going to image it. We're going to record from it. And we're going to sort out how it is actually functioning, because our whole goal is to see if we can drive it into a better position.
Hope you can find it.
Well, we'll find it. We'll find it, and we'll probe it, and we'll record from it, and we'll see its wonders.
Wow, that's a snug fit.
It's said that brain tissue has more connections in 1 cubic centimeter than there are stars in our galaxy. And I'm about to see how my neurons and synapses measure up.
So this is your head reduced down to a point cloud.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Look at that.
Just take a seat on the edge.
I've never had a brain scan before.
Take a seat
It's
here.
amazing that this Meg scanner is able to record my brain in action. We have around 70,000 thoughts a day. Yet this giant magnet is so sensitive, it can zero in on a single one.
Okay, you comfortable there, Todd?
As comfortable as you can be if you had your head in a pizza oven.
Okay, wonderful.
With the testing, we're going to use MEG recording, which is a magnetic recording method which allows us to look at actions in Todd's brain as they occur. So you could say it's Todd in action. The tests are all specifically targeted to reveal important things that we'd like to know about Todd's starting point, about Todd's brain as it is. We're going to look at his action in all kinds of ways that calibrate his brain speed.
Meatball. Holy. Mara.
Also, we're going to assess the state of alertness of his brain, how on the ball he is, how effectively he's monitoring things with his attention.
By far the most difficult was the strobe test.
Right.
2 hours with
Yeah.
your head stuck in that machine.
Yeah. Well, actually, this is quite a bit more pleasant than the next machine.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, that's good to know. Great. I look forward to the next machine. I love how you take so much enjoyment in me going through all of this.
Okay, so no one told me about another hour of fMRI scans. But secretly, I've always wanted to try this machine. It takes hundreds of photos of my working brain, which get animated into a movie.
That's the right side of your head.
Look at that. Wow. That's like brain art. So, is everything okay in my brain?
It's a beautiful brain. By every indication, things are alive and well in there. And
You found something.
no, we've made a pretty complete documentation of the status of your neurology. Everything looks healthy, vital, and active, but it's still improvable, and that's the point.
So now we have accurate baseline measurements of my brain function. But at the end of my training, I'll be scanned again to measure any changes. But first, it's down to work. The brain is designed to improve with use, so brain training is like fitness for the mind. If I'm going to make mine better, stronger, faster, it's going to take some dedication. So we've created a special gym for the brain, and the first skill we're going to target is my thinking speed.
So Todd, the first task is to determine how fast you can operate to, when you see something, to identify what it is. We call this recognition speed.
So it's like a visual game.
It is a lot like a game. And remember, we're measuring two things. We're measuring the speed with which you can make these decisions, and we're measuring your accuracy.
Right.
Okay,
Let's do
let's
it.
go. You're on your own.
Okay, here we go.
It's called the What's This test, and it measures thinking speed by recording my recognition and reaction times when I try to categorize an object. If it's a tool, I press the left arrow. For a writing utensil, the right arrow, as fast as I can. you give it a go.
Wow, that was full on. There were so many things coming at me at the same time.
It is hard. I mean, we're defining how you operate at your limits.
How'd I do?
You did okay. You got actually 62% of the things that you saw. You took about 9/10 of a second to make a decision. That's a little longer than I would have expected given your other abilities. That's something we can definitely improve.
Okay, so I've got some work to do on my thinking speed. But Michael's devised some training exercises to drive it to faster, higher rates.
So Todd, this next task is really pretty simple, and it's all about improving your speed. And what you're going to see is a series of letters or numbers or whatever. So you might see something like this. And there will be simultaneously a voice. And let's say it gave you the number 8. Would that be correct or incorrect?
That will be incorrect.
That's exactly right, because there are obviously 7. It seems simple, but...
Seeing the 8, hearing an 8, and thinking 7
Exactly.
is a bit more complex.
It is.
Thinking speed gradually declines with age as we move our eyes less and less. A teenager can sample information 7 times a second, while an 80-year-old only twice a second. But at any age, we can all give our thinking speed a turbo boost.
Okay, here we go.
2, 5, 4.
In this mixed signals task, I hit the spacebar only when there's a match.
1, 3.
It takes around half a second for the brain to turn a thought into an action.
2.
But this simple training tool is designed to speed this up by increasing my visual sampling rate.
1, 2.
And it's like any exercise. The more I get those neurons firing, the better I'll get.
3, 4, 3, 5.
So that game it was fun, but it was hard. How many times do I have to do a game like that?
Well, you're going to have to come back to a task that's of this general form about 10 times. The better you get, the harder it will get. So day by day, we're going to ratchet up your brain until you reach a relatively high performance level.
So Michael has given me a battery of computer-based brain exercises and wants me to train for 30 minutes a day for the next 4 weeks. It'll keep me pretty busy, but he's also advised me to learn to juggle. Believe it or not, this is one of the best activities for increasing thinking speed. Nick Price is one of Australia's best jugglers. And I kid you not, his day job is a brain scientist.
So Nick, I've been told by the other scientists that one of the best ways of increasing my brain speed is through juggling.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Juggling, it improves your ability to think quickly, it improves your attention and focus. It's really a good thing for the brain.
All right, Nick, let's see what you got. Let's see some juggling.
So,
I feel like I'm in the line of fire here. So Nick, that's amazing. So you weren't even looking at them.
well, it's too fast to be able to look and think about everything that you're doing. You really have to just do it with your peripheral vision, making sure that you control the spin, making sure you know the positions of the knives, even though you can't actually be looking at all of them directly.
I was looking at them all.
Well, maybe your brain is already processing pretty fast.
Yeah, it was processing get away from the guy with the knives.
Yeah.
Okay, it's pretty obvious that Nick can juggle just about anything. I'm going to pass on the fire sticks and knives for now, but balls, well, they look more achievable. Watching Nick, I noticed his stare remains fixed on an area around 2 feet in front of him. His attention is focused. He never blinks or looks directly at any of the 5 balls. Yet his hands are always in the right place at the right time. His balance is perfect, and his throwing action smooth and consistent. That's some pretty impressive brain power going on there.
Okay, what I'm going to show you how to do is what's called a 3-ball cascade. So 3 balls, 2 hands, 1 brain.
Okay.
Okay, so the way we're going to start is with 2 balls, right, left, catch, catch. And it helps to say it. If you say it, then you're more likely to do it.
Okay. Right, left. The saying didn't help. The ball flying over there. Okay, so right, left.
Think about keeping your elbows relatively stationary.
Oh, okay, that's good information.
So the tough thing now is to get that 3rd ball out of your hand as the 2nd ball is coming in. So that's the new movement that you're learning. So you're going to go right, left, right, left. So maybe a little lower than that. That looks like it's starting to get dangerous. We need to get you to 6 throws and 6 catches, which is a qualify.
So I'm not juggling until I can catch 6.
That's right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ah, so close.
I seem to be getting the hang of this. It's amazing what a little bit of practice can do. Half an hour ago, I would have thought that to be impossible. It felt so unnatural and so uncomfortable. And with a little bit of practice, I reckon I could become quite good at this.
Todd's technique improved actually quite quickly, and I think that's because he was quite patient, so he was quite happy to practice just 2 balls and then 3 balls and get that technique smooth before moving on to the next step. If he trains even 5 minutes a day for a few weeks, he'll get much more smooth, and then he can start learning tricks. He can start maybe trying to juggle 4 balls. Practice is the key.
Next on my training hit list, sharpen attention.
Aiming your eyes at something is no guarantee of seeing it. Have you spotted what's wrong with this picture yet? Studies show that more than half of us don't. We're all pretty bad at paying attention, but we can improve it.
Well, now we're going to do a relatively direct test of the baseline level of your attention. You could think of it as an evaluation of your alertness. And we're going to measure something that's called attentional blink. So you're going to see a series of letters flash by, and in the middle of those letters are going to be numbers. And your simple task is to remember those numbers and report back what you saw.
So what does blinking have to do with it?
Well, because your mind is blinking. Once you see something that captures your attention, there will be a period of time in which you see nothing.
You're making me nervous about driving home.
So let's go. Let's see how you do on this.
All right, let's do it. Five.
You saw 1. What was the other? Well, didn't see it.
Didn't see it.
Okay. That means it was in the window of your blink.
5 and I think that was 4. 2 and 5.
Okay, your turn.
Okay. When things occurred relatively slowly or deliberately, you got about 71%. I would say that that's about average, a little above average. When things came fast, you got almost 60%, and that's really good. But still, there's room for improvement there, significant room for improvement.
So it's clear I've got some work to do on my attention. No surprises there. But I want to explore the science more deeply. So with Michael heading home to San Francisco, I've decided to hit the US as well. I've come to Phoenix, Arizona to meet 3 people who specialize in the field of attention. 2 of them are scientists, the other, a magician. No prizes for guessing which one he is. Susana Martinez Conde and Stephen Macknick are visual neuroscientists at the Barrow Institute. And Magic Tony, well, he does magic.
So we have actually been working with Tony to figure out what magic can bring to neuroscience and how we can go to the lab and see how magicians manipulate your attentional processes, your cognitive processes, your emotions even.
Magicians manipulate attention and awareness better than anybody else in the world, including cognitive scientists. So we realized we needed to study what magicians are doing to your brain, that if we could learn their tricks, we could discover how those mechanisms work in the brain better.
So scientists are learning from magicians?
Absolutely.
Oh, hey. Okay, that looks interesting.
It's been years since we lost anybody.
Stephen and Susanna are fitting me with an eye tracking device, which will record precisely what I'm watching during the magic trick.
So what we're doing here is we're going to position these infrared video cameras pointing at your eyes. As you look at this video, the eye tracker is finding your pupil, which we can see there in blue in the other screen, and that's how we can tell what you're looking at.
And your only task is to watch the trick and to enjoy it, okay?
Okay, I can do that.
Hi, Susanna.
Hi.
We're going to try a little mind reading today. Would you shuffle up that deck for me? Some people think crystals hold a lot of power for transmitting thoughts, so I thought we could really amp that up by getting 10,000 crystals. I spared no expense. There we have it, 10,000 crystals of salt. So I'm gonna spread out the cards on the table here. I want you to remove any card you like. Great, memorize that card, show it to the camera. I don't want to see what it is. And please stick it into the center of the deck, anywhere you like. Shove it on in there. All right. So what I'd like you to do is begin concentrating on your card. Send the thought of the card to the base of the salt shaker. It'll shoot up through those crystals. It'll be magnified. It'll shoot out the holes and hit me right in the brain. We could wish for a bigger target, sure. All right. Begin sending the card. It's a 10. Is that correct?
Yes.
In fact, your card is the 10 of clubs. Is that correct? Now, that's amazing. But what's even more amazing is that you selected a card from this deck. You shuffled up that deck. And in fact, there is no 10 of clubs in the deck. Have a look. Not a single 10 of clubs. Because the 10 of clubs is the card that I keep underneath my salt shaker.
Taking data from the tracking device, my every eye movement has now been superimposed over the video.
So now we can see where you were looking when during the magic trick and understand how you perceive things. So let's go ahead and start.
Hi, Susanna. Hi. We're going to...
Wow, my eyes are moving around a lot, aren't they?
Sure. And magicians are experts at creating a set of cues that can choreograph how you deploy your attention. And in fact, if you remember, there were 2 magic tricks in this video. The first was me divining the card that Susanna selected from that deck of playing cards, and she freely selected a playing card. I had no idea what the card was initially. And I have to peek at that card, which I have controlled to the top of the deck. And so I find a time to do that that is accompanied by the perception of humor. I make a silly little joke there saying, it'll be magnified, it'll shoot out the holes and hit me right in the brain. We could wish for a bigger target, sure. And it's at that precise moment, the moment that you're perceiving humor, We could wish for a bigger target, sure. That I overtly peek at the top card of the deck, but you probably didn't notice.
That's amazing that you did that. Like, I still can't see you having that peak.
We could wish for a bigger target, sure.
What's happening with humor is that your attention is suppressed. Magicians put in jokes very specifically so that the audience is feeling mirth at very specific times. And it's another way that they control what you're paying attention to and what you aren't.
Some of the magicians that we've worked with, they've put it this way: when the public laughs, time stops, and then the magician can do anything. They can get away with magical murder.
And the second part of the trick was when the card vanished from the deck and reappeared underneath the salt shaker. So the moment that I divined Susanna's thought of playing card, in fact, your card is the 10 of clubs, is that correct? Is the same moment that I'm palming that card so that I place it beneath the salt shaker.
There's a type of eye movement called smooth pursuit, where the eye follows motion. And Tony uses it to divert my eyes away from the salt shaker.
So notice how he spreads the cards, and your gaze is going to follow the motion of the hand dragged along this trajectory, while at the same time he's inserting the card under the salt shaker. Now that is visual information that is completely available to you, but it never reaches your awareness.
So you mean I actually saw the trick, but I didn't know that I saw it?
Your visual neuron saw it, you were not aware of it.
So really what our research is showing is that attention is far more about suppressing distractions than it is about enhancing what you're paying attention to. And what that means is that magicians are really kind of using a mental jiu-jitsu against you. They're getting you to use your own attentional system against yourself.
Sneaky magicians.
So it's clear the brain needs dedicated focus to be attentive, and multitasking is a fallacy. So using a phone behind the wheel reduces your driving ability by 1/3. But there's another reason why we fail to notice what's happening around us. And that's why I've come to San Francisco to catch up with Michael Merznick. He wants to work on my peripheral vision, an important part of alertness.
Hi, Michael.
How you doing, Todd? Nice to see you, man.
Nice to see you. Is this your car?
Oh man, yeah. We're gonna go for a ride in this car because it's probably one of the easiest ways to show you about peripheral vision is to take you for a drive, because there you use it in rich abundance. So you get to drive.
I'm driving.
You're driving. Remember, we drive in the what is it? The left or the right here? We'll find out.
He needs memory training.
Okay, 2 middle-aged men in a red Mustang. This is not going to seem tragic at all. Easy, Tiger.
You don't realize how complicated and challenging driving is until you think about it a little bit. You have to divide your attention between the things that are in the immediate center of where you're looking, but also you have to be drinking in all these things from side to side.
So peripheral vision is a pretty important asset and something we often take for granted. But the scary part is, as we age, it starts to degrade at an alarming rate, and we're not even aware of it.
We're really good at taking in information all across the horizon when we're young. And we probably reach a peak maybe around our 30th birthday. By your 60th birthday, you've lost about 1/4 of the world in front of you. By the time you reach your 80th birthday, you've lost half of it. It's like you have a TV screen that shrunk in size in front of you by about 50%. That's a tremendous loss. You're walking through the world with blinders on.
Oh, check that guy out.
Right?
Man, he needs peripheral vision testing.
Yeah.
You're making me paranoid now.
Well, you know,
you're pointing everything out to me.
You know, you don't think of it. It's really about opening up your eyes in your brain so that you see the whole world.
I know, but you're interesting, but you're not very encouraging in the driving. You're like, things are jumping out. They're on your left, they're on your right.
backseat driving aside, Michael's point is that we don't just see with our eyes, we see with our brains. And that's good news, because it means peripheral vision can be radically improved.
So this is a task, basically, that's designed to improve your peripheral vision. It turns out that this is a remarkably recoverable ability. At any age, everybody's improvable. And you're improvable not just in the fact that you'll see more and respond to it more effectively with your eyes, but you'll also become better and better at interpreting what it is you see.
So in this training exercise, called double decision, a car and a series of signs are shown for just 2 seconds. You have to identify which of the 2 cars you just saw and where the Route 66 sign was. Because your central vision has to stay focused on the cars, there's not enough time to scan the signs. So you're forced to spot the Route 66 sign with your peripheral vision.
Oh, it's getting much harder now.
You try it. The most exciting thing about this training is how fast it actually gets results.
We see very strong effects in retraining peripheral visual ability occurring within an hour or 2 of training, and in 6 or 7 hours. It's as if you were back in your abilities 20 years in life.
To gain back 20 years' ability in less than a day is a real testament to brain plasticity and just how fast changes can take place.
You're good, but you can be better.
Oi!
You'd think Michael has given me enough training to do. But as well as thinking speed and attention, he wants to improve another mental skill. He's asked to meet me at a restaurant across town. Bet this ain't no free lunch.
So Todd, we're here in this nice restaurant because we've set up a memory test for you. And you're going to go upstairs, and you're going to meet a really nice group of people. There are going to be 7 people. Each one of them will be wearing a name tag, a colored scarf. And then each one will also have a signature dish sitting in front of them. And your task is really simple. You have 21 things to remember.
And how long do I have to do that?
Oh, you have 42 seconds.
So this is another form of torture.
Oh, Todd, you can do it. Okay, you can open your eyes now. Your job is to remember names, remember the color of the scarf they wear, and remember the food in front of them. You ready?
I'm ready.
Starting now.
Okay, here's your chance to test your memory.
Time's up, Todd. Okay.
That was 42 seconds. You're kidding me.
No. That was 42 seconds, Todd. And you drunk it all in, so you're in
That's
good shape.
impossible.
Be optimistic.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, Todd, we're back for the second part of this test. And
I don't even recognize these people. I don't even know that long.
So, do you remember who this is?
It's Felicity. And she was wearing a yellow scarf.
Yep.
Yes.
And she was eating a pie. See, I just thought that was so unlike you to be chowing down. It's stuck in my mind. Gabrielle? And you were wearing orange and spaghetti.
Anastasia? Okay. I remember yellow, but it's not yellow, is it? Okay. You were eating a salad, if I remember right. Okay. Ben? What kind of name is that? But I do seem to recall you wearing blue-ish? Blue? That's close. I do remember a burger. Okay. This is awkward, isn't it? Marina? Oh, okay. Red. Another salad? It's kind of a salad. I've got no idea who this bloke is. You've been here the whole time?
Yep.
I remember blue with you. Okay. Copper? Cooper.
Very good.
I have no idea what you're eating. Fish. It's a fish pizza. Okay. Lucinda.
Yeah.
Sushi.
Yeah.
And the color is that kind of pink-red thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't believe I remembered that much. I still think you're Ben.
Well, the brain training must be kicking in because my working memory could handle 16 items. A typical score is more like 7. Michael's got some more computer training for me, but he also wants me to learn some mnemonic techniques for memory retention. And for that, I'm headed back home to Sydney. To help train my memory, I've called in the cavalry. Tanzel Ali is not only a memory coach, he's also a 2-time Australian memory champion.
Hello.
Hi, Tanzel.
Todd.
Welcome to my home.
Thank you.
Tanzel has asked to meet me at home because he says the training is going to involve the rooms in my house.
Say hello to Tanzel.
Hello.
I'm pretty curious to know what he's got in store, and so are my kids.
My name's Jet.
Coco and Jet, lovely names. So today what we're going to do is memorise a deck of cards, and I'll show you how to do that. And the reason why we're doing it is so it can help you improve your memory and use both sides of your brain. And we'll look at the location method, we'll look at coming up with images for the cards, and finally we'll recall those cards as well.
Now, rumor has it that you actually memorized 2 complete yellow pages.
Yeah, yes, I have, yep.
Do you mind if I put you through the test?
No, not at all, go for it.
Okay, Tanzel, I'm going to give you the name and you're going to give me the phone number.
Okay.
G.F. James Plumbing Services.
Okay, that is 964 91099.
That's amazing. That's the number.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Coco, do you want to test Tanzel? Okay, you pick one. Just point to one. All right. Play space.
Okay, 1-800-287-634.
That's amazing. Do you think Dada could do that?
No, you can't do it.
Thanks.
Yep, Jet's probably right. But a full deck of playing cards, just let me at it.
So there's a technique called the person, action, object system. How that works is that each card has an image, and the first image here is a person. So for example, the 6 kind of looks like a B here, and diamond starts with a D, so I'm using the initials B and D. So the first thing that comes into my mind If I think of B&D, is Bob Dylan, so I create a person from that. And Bob Dylan is, I can picture him performing on stage and playing the harmonica. Because they're familiar in your mind, it's easy.
Nearly 1/3 of our brain is dedicated to vision, so it's much easier to recall a strong visual scene than numbers and suits.
So let's look at this card as well. So I've got Ace of Spades. So I can have A for Adam, S Spades for Sandler. Adam Sandler as a person. And one of my favourite movies, Happy Gilmore. So he's Adam Sandler swinging a golf club. So swinging is his action and golf club is the object. And finally, we've got Jack of Hearts. Now, I use a lot of my family members as hearts because I love them. So what family member would you have for Jack of Hearts?
My sister, Dion.
So what could your sister's action be?
Soccer. She likes playing soccer.
Gosh, so
The reason you have to assign person, action, and object for every card is to do with keeping the right order. So you make up a story that links them together, taking only one attribute from each card image.
So in this case, card 1 takes the person, so Bob Dylan doesn't change. Card 2 takes the action, which is Adam Sandler swinging a golf club. And card 3 takes the object, which is my sister's soccer ball. So the imaginary story that I make up is Bob Dylan swinging a golf club at a soccer ball.
So what we've done is we've memorized 3 cards, but there are still all these cards to remember. So how do we do it? How do we memorize all these?
Before your brain explodes, the answer is simpler than you think.
Let's go.
The trick is to memorize the cards in groups of 3, and then starting at the front, place them in a sequence of locations throughout your home to give you the full deck order.
Okay, this looks like a great place to start. Okay, so let your mind go wild now.
So I started coming up with characters for my cards. In this case, Britney Spears, Santa Claus, and Donald Duck to create my story.
I would have Britney Spears being pulled in a red sleigh by a big yellow duck on top of my piano. So the Queen of Hearts.
And so it goes, over another 16 locations.
So it's my mother fighting off aliens that are coming out of the sink.
And it's not just about the cards. This location or journey method can be used to memorize anything.
Now, because we did 17 locations, that's 51 cards. There's 1 card left over.
Snoop Dogg, you live there.
So the technique is all well and good in theory, but now it's time for the acid test. I have to try and drag all 52 cards back out of my memory in the right order.
So the first room, the location is my piano. It's Britney Spears riding Santa's sled, pulled by a big yellow duck. So it's 8 of spades, 2 of clubs. And so it's the 4, D is diamonds, the 4 of diamonds. The next room is Coco's room, and the location,
Tom Hanks.
the 8 of diamonds.
Paul Daly.
Bob
So that would be the 8 of
Wrestling a crocodile on top of the crib. My mother fighting off green aliens that are coming.
Barack
out of the
Obama's
sink.
right there.
And Churchill's a C, so it's a club. Parrot
So
is Alice Cooper.
This is really doing my head in.
Okay, Todd, what you'll have to do now is you have to speed that up, obviously, for the World Memory Championships, which is not too far away. So you have to practice, practice, and practice as fast as you can.
Yep, you heard right. Tanzel wants me to compete in the World Memory Championships in London in just 3 weeks' time. He wants to prove that the technique works and that my memory can radically improve in a short space of time. Now I better get moving and step up all my training because I'm going to be representing Australia. No pressure. But the good news is, at least my juggling is coming along nicely. There's been a real improvement in my hand-eye coordination, balance, and peripheral vision.
Now it's a lot.
Well, as for my hand-fire coordination,
Hey, that's hot.
well, not so much. But it's time for the official scientific reassessment. Michael Mersnick wants me to take the What's This test again to see if my thinking speed has changed over the 4 weeks.
Wow, that was completely different than the first time I did it. The first time around, it was frustrating. I was making so many mistakes. But this time around, I didn't even make an error.
In fact, my initial thinking speed was 9/10 of a second, with an accuracy of 62%. Now my thinking speed is twice as fast, less than half a second, scoring me 98.3%. To be honest, I'm slightly stunned. But I have one more assessment to do, the attentional blink test. Last time, I failed to see half the numbers.
This is the test I hated the most. It was incredibly difficult the first time around. But this time, I felt like I was processing it so fast, I made very, very few errors. I'm completely shocked. I never expected to be able to do that test that well.
Once again, I blitzed my original results, upping my overall accuracy from 64.4 to 95.6%, achieving near-perfect scores for attention.
I mean, it's terrific. Your brain is operating now at a state of high alert continuously. You're responding about as fast as it is humanly possible to respond. I mean, this is a really beautiful, almost an incredible positive change.
The thing I'm most amazed about is how quickly this all happened. Like, my scores have almost doubled in only a 4-week period. Now, I must say, I was skeptical when you said that was possible the first time, but, I mean, they are what they are.
Yeah, you know, you worked really hard at this to get as far as you've gotten to make these advances, but you've made really nice gains, and you'll be better for it for many years to come. I'm really optimistic about how well you're going to do at the Memory Championships.
The annual World Memory Championships is a decathlon of mental sports, where they memorize not just playing cards, but abstract images, binary digits, names and faces, historic dates, random words. You name it, this bunch will memorize it. It's a 3-day event drawing over 70 Ment athletes from all walks of life and more than 20 countries.
Hey, Todd.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm feeling so anxious. Like, look at this place. How are we going to compete against all of these people?
We haven't got the Australia jackets, so...
I know. I got my tag, and it says Todd Sampson representing Australia. Australia is in trouble if I'm representing them.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 21st anniversary of the World Memory Championships. So once again, warriors of the mind, you are important for the future of the human brain and the human mind.
This is a collection of some of the most interesting people I've ever seen in my life.
I'm from space, that's fantastic.
I think there are probably a few people from space here. Why do you wear this? How does it help?
Well, it takes away all the, it keeps me focused on what I'm doing. It's worth looking like that.
I think you look great. So you memorized 3,000 numbers in 1 hour?
Almost 3,000 in a half an hour.
How many decks of cards can you memorize?
I can memorize about 25 decks in an hour.
Is that illegal in the casinos?
I didn't ask them, so I just do it.
But of all the brainiacs here, the most famous, and my personal favorite, is the man in the cool t-shirt, Ben Pridmore.
The thing about memory competitions is the standard keeps getting higher and higher every year. The scores get much higher with every competition. So, you know, the scores I won with in 2004, I doubt I'd finish in the top 10 this year. It's that big a change.
But do you think the people that are doing these memory competitions are smarter?
I don't think I'm particularly clever, but people always tend to think of me as a sort of world expert on anything related to intelligence. I had someone the other day collar me and started talking to me about string theory, and all I could think was I must find out what that is one of these days.
You could memorize it.
You'd think I could, but you know.
Why would you?
Exactly.
It's day 2 of the competition, and having witnessed the mental toll this seems to take on everyone else, I hope I'm up to the task. Because the moment has finally arrived to put my newly minted memory skills to the test.
It's time to smash the back out of
it. 10 seconds.
So with just 3 weeks practice and armed with my single deck of cards, here goes.
Neurons on the ready. Go.
The ace of clubs is Alice Cooper. His action is biting a head off a parrot. 9 of clubs. 9 for wine. W.C. Winston Churchill. James Packer sitting on a Harley Davidson. Gina Reinhardt is the Queen of Diamonds.
Katie Lang.
Clubs. 3 of the ace of clubs.
Kristen Stewart.
Tom Hanks.
Jack Bob Hope.
James Packer. Diamonds. 8. So Tom Hanks wrestling a crocodile.
Barack
in a
Obama.
crib, floating down a river. Diamonds. 7 of hearts.
You have 1 minute remaining. Stop memorization. Gather your cards up, taking great care to preserve the order.
Whew, that's stage 1 accomplished, but I'm not off the hook yet.
Now I have to recall them on this page. This page is more complicated than memorizing the cards. I hope I get it right.
Neurons on the ready. Go.
So, Gina Reinhardt reading a newspaper with a big bell on top of my car. James Packer, he is the Jack of Diamonds, sitting on a Harley Davidson, which is the 5 of diamonds, playing a harmonica, Bob Dylan. The 6 of diamonds.
Barack Obama, Bob Hope, so that would be the Kristen Stewart.
Adam Sandler, which is the ace of spades.
Stop recall. It is vitally important that you make sure that your name and competitor ID number are on your sheets.
And here they are, the arbiters, the number crunchers charged with deciding my fate. Or so I thought.
It's been 2 hours since you wrote it out on the sheet, so we do have a result as well.
Okay.
So this is sort of a second level test for you. So you've written them down, now we'll see if you can just say them out loud, one at a time.
You're kidding me, right?
No, you can do it.
Okay, I'll give it a try.
Okay.
Queen of Diamonds.
Uh-huh.
King of Diamonds. 8 of Diamonds. Jack of Diamonds.
Yes.
7 of Clubs.
Yes.
10 of Spades.
Yes.
6 of Clubs.
Uh-huh.
And Ace of Clubs.
Absolutely.
10 of Hearts.
Uh-huh.
9 of Hearts.
Yeah.
2 of Diamonds.
Yes.
Oh, jeez. Okay, I thought
I mean.
Don't do that again. My mind is panicking. Okay, 3 of Diamonds.
Yes.
4 of Diamonds.
Well, despite the occasional heart palpitation, it was surprising how quickly I could recall and translate my stories back into cards.
And the Queen of Spades.
But with an expectant crowd, one hell of a headache, and 8 cards still to go, I'm not out of the woods yet.
10 of Club.
Yes.
And Queen of Clubs.
Yes.
4 of spades. 5 of spades.
Yes.
Ace of spades.
Yes.
Jack of clubs.
Yes.
And
2 to go. 2 to go.
okay, 9 of clubs.
Yes.
And 3 of spades.
That's my student.
Wow, look at that. I'm not changing the order of this deck ever. I'm keeping the order of this deck.
And Dominic O'Brien, the 8 times world memory champion, actually checked your sheet for you. I have now double checked it. So you are officially have memorized a full deck of playing cards. Well done.
I never thought that was possible. I'm absolutely thrilled to be able to do it. It's been amazing to be in this environment with all of these very clever, smart people working on this, and this is now my favorite deck of cards.
And guess what? Out of 7 billion people, I'm now ranked 57th in the world for card memorization. I've now experienced firsthand how quickly and powerfully the brain can change. After only 1 month of training, my speed of thinking has nearly doubled, my attention is much more focused, and my memory has radically improved. I feel smarter, sharper, and more alive than ever before.
I'm really surprised that I feel this way, so energetic. My mind feels so much clearer. Even my sleep has gotten better. And I've only been training for less than an hour a day. I'm really looking forward to the next phase of my mental journey.
In the next episode of Redesign My Brain, I explore the science that can make us more creative.
Now what do we do?
I discover the secret of what makes something innovative.
He's just insulted me for the last 10 minutes.
And how to get your brain thinking laterally. And my mind-expanding adventure intensifies with a creative art challenge.